3, 2, 1. Woo, baby! Welcome to episode 40 of the Save Point podcast. It's your boy TK. Bronk.
Oh, I got a new name now. Okay.
No,
No,
you
that's
had
what
that
we
for
said
two
last
episodes. And I'm Beng.
Bang. And welcome to episode 40 of the Save Point podcast. Welcome all 20 of you who are watching. It is a good day today. We are going to be talking about some epic freaking games. Not epic games though, because I don't think they've got anything new coming out besides all those things that they're publishing.
DC and Fortnite. That's about it.
They do DC now?
Yeah. Superman and that. And Teen Titans.
Okay. Yeah.
We do not have much to talk about this week, so we're just
Oh, thanks for breaking the
going with the
illusion.
flow.
I think we had a bit of stuff. I wanted you to talk about what your thoughts on the Switch were so far.
Yeah, 1 week with the Switch. How is it?
Yeah, it was only a few days last time.
Yeah, not much has changed since our last episode. I've got it down there somewhere. Still loving the fact that it is way, way faster in terms of load times than the previous Switch.
Yeah.
Like stuff like Zelda, for example, where it's like, cool, I could be waiting up to a minute for it to load into the game. Now it's about 20 seconds. And it's so much faster. I haven't really tested it with any of the newer games out for it. Like I haven't played Cyberpunk, haven't played Bravely Default.
Well, that's what I
any of
saw, was
that.
that the load time for Cyberpunk was about a minute and 10 seconds, I think, to get into game. Which I won't lie, is...
That sounds excessive, but compared to, when it first came out with consoles,
well, I
not much different.
I saw a comparison video between PS4 and the Switch for loading Cyberpunk. And I think the PS4 was about a minute 40, minute 50.
Oh, it was longer.
To the Switch too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the main reason, so a minute 40 on PS4 and then a minute 10 on Switch. But most people are saying that isn't because the Switch is more powerful. It's because it's got an SSD and this is running off a hard drive.
I mean, true. I
think that'd be a massive impact.
Yeah, it's definitely going to have a effect there. I don't know how much compared to how much RAM they've got.
You would probably know this because you've been running some games off hard drive.
Yeah.
Have you moved any of those to your SSD to see how much? This is on PC we're talking about as well.
All my games are on my SSD.
All of them
moved them, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I still play, on my PlayStation, I still play a fair amount of games off the hard drive.
Yeah.
Just because they're all PS4 and that hard drive's been going for like 6 years now and it's...
When I have moved games on my old computer from the hard drive to the SSD, it was legitimately like 3-4 times faster to load things.
I'm not saying it's not faster. I was just saying I wouldn't think that, considering that like the Switch 2, even compared to the PS4, it's not equivalent. I would say the PS4 is going to be able to be slightly better in terms of output.
A brand new one maybe than
What quality-wise? What?
Yeah.
Which I think that's not a very good thing to say. I mean, like the Switch 2, it's hectic for what it is. It came out with 2025. The PS4 came out in 2013.
Yeah.
it was
12 years
13
prior
years
to
ago.
get up to that level. That's not...
No, but I mean, look.
I mean, you don't need that power for the Switch for what it is. People don't care enough.
Yeah. The stuff that's coming out for the Switch 2, as long as it's been designed for the Switch 2, is going to look amazing.
Yeah.
And it's going, oh, cool, it can now run in 4K and it can do 120 frames a second and yada, yada, yada. Awesome. Would have been cool to have that, 7 years ago, but whatever. It's taking them this long to get there. The PS4 didn't do 4K. It was only 1080p, wasn't it? It was the PS4 Pro did 4K.
No, it did 4K,
No, I think
didn't
the PS3 only did 1080p.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, PS4 did 4K. The Pro did 4K 60 or 4K 120, it might have been.
Yeah, I don't remember on that.
I
remember
don't
either.
honestly remember. Like,
Because my TV wasn't worth watching in 4K
neither.
anyway.
I was still using an old
Yeah.
plasma with my PS4,
Yeah.
so majority of its life.
I would definitely buy that the
I'll look at
PS4
that,
did
actually.
60 frames a second, because I remember the PS3, that was like back in the days where everyone was arguing over like, oh, we want 60 frames a second versus 30 frames. Like when it wasn't Bloodborne. What was the one right before Bloodborne? Was it Dark Souls 2 or 3?
Dark Souls 2 or 3, one of the two. I think it might have been 3. Yeah.
On the PS3 was like locked to 30 frames a second, and there was massive outcry about that from all the fans of that game, because everyone wanted 60 frames a second.
For the next one, yeah. I mean, it all depends. I mean, like, they've really been pushing about how Zelda is 4K 60, which is really cool.
It looks lovely.
Yeah,
It looks amazing.
and it will run, like everyone have been talking about. It says it's buttery smooth. It's very consistent. I just really wish they could have done 120. Really, I mean, that game was a Wii U game.
Yeah.
And honestly, Tears of the Kingdom, it is the same. It's just an expansion, a very good. It's definitely
it's a
worth.
big expansion.
Yeah, but
yeah,
it's the same engine. They didn't really change enough to, I think, be way more intensive.
Same general world map. The only things
That's
that
what I mean,
change is
just
you've got the underworld and the overworld.
But I feel like if it's a Wii U game, surely they can get it up to 120. Like,
I mean,
surely.
You would think. I don't
Yeah.
know if they really pushed it that much.
Yeah, I don't think
Like,
that's a priority for them. I don't think.
No.
So upon some research, original PS4 and PS4 Slim limited to 30 frames, while the PS4 Pro can achieve 4K 60 on some games.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm still enjoying my time with it. The new Mario Kart, now that I've had more time with it, I mean, we talked a little bit about like how the new Grand Prix thing works.
Yeah.
I still think they should have had just like the racing from one venue to the next. I really think that should have been its own race type, like Grand Tour rather than Grand Prix.
Okay,
Grand
yeah.
Prix should have just been like, yep, race 1, race 2, race 3, race 4, and they're just
Yep.
individual places. Grand Tour makes a lot more, like it is fun, but I feel like it should have been its own mode. Free roam's really cool. They got
Yep.
challenges scattered
All
everywhere and
around.
all
Yeah,
that.
no, I've heard about that.
And you can unlock, like you can still, all the coins that you unlock in free roam still go towards unlocking cars, and I don't like how you unlock character costumes. That
do you
is
do
one
that?
thing I'll say. So scattered throughout all the maps are basically little Yoshi huts where like they serve fast food.
Yep.
As you drive past it, you grab one of the fast food things and it gives you a temporary boost similar to a mushroom.
Yep.
Certain types of them, because they're all themed depending on where around the map you grabbed it from,
Yeah.
certain types of them will give you a costume for that character or possibly unlock another character.
Okay. Yeah.
I have not been able to find a way to actually tell, cool, I grabbed this thing, is it going to unlock a costume for me? Have I grabbed that one before? Oh, it's giving me a costume.
Yeah. Okay. So
Straight RNG.
you're just
It
not even.
does. I know that there is some system behind it because it's we're playing it. It's that sort of like feel like, is it random or is it actually like, is it set to like this thing unlocks that? There's something there, but I can't get my head around like, cool, where do I get this next costume from? Where have I collected stuff from?
That's a big pet peeve that I have with some games is that when it's a collectible, and a big example is the Riddler trophies.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
I don't remember if they do with the Riddler trophies, but they don't tell you if you've gotten that one yet or on the map. So basically, say there's 120. Let's skip
Yeah.
that. Say there's like 120 collectibles in the game or something, and you accidentally pick one up, and there's no indication of what one you picked up. So if you've got to go through and do like a whole playthrough to see what ones you got no chance.
You've got
Yeah.
to check
You've
every
got to
one
check every
individually.
single one individually.
Yeah,
Which is where I'm
was
at
like
with Arkham
it's
City.
the Korok seeds in
Yeah.
frickin' both Zelda games.
Mm.
Yeah, there's no way to mark off unless you go through and have individually marked it yourself.
Yeah.
There's no way to go through. There's no inbuilt system to help with that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I had when I went back and tried to do Arkham Knight or Arkham City and try to get the platinum. It's like, cool. I think it was Arkham Knight because I'd done all the other stuff. It's like, you got to get all the trophies or at least like 70% of them. It's like, I'll go start at this really tiny area. It's like, there's 15 here. I've got 3 of them. I was like, cool. And it still took me an hour to get that one little section done. And there's like about 15, 16 sections.
From memory, it tells you, like, it has the layout of, like, here's all the trophies you've collected, but it doesn't give you any hints as to where they are.
If you do enough of like the interrogations and stuff and you can get the area unlocked, you can like max that out. So it goes, all the trophies are here, but it's a city. So it's like, they're either going to be right here and it doesn't tell you the elevation, doesn't tell you anything like that. And it's just, you got to find it. And then there's a puzzle or there's a Batmobile race or something like that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
But no, Switch 2, still fun. Haven't yet found anything that takes, like, good advantage of the increased power, but yeah, we'll
I
see.
think it's going
Apparently-
to take a while.
Yeah, Witcher 3 apparently looks really, really good on it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
But that's, that's a game that for what it was, looked really good on the original Switch and was amazing that they managed to get it to run that well on it.
Wasn't the FPS terrible on it?
They had some issues early on, but yeah, that was...
I don't like them pushing a console like this, and their championing all of it is games that came out 10 years ago.
I mean, that's a very Nintendo thing. Like, look at the Wii U. That had the Arkham trilogy on it, had the Mass Effect trilogy. These are all games that were 10 years old by the time it hit them.
When I think of the Wii U, no, it wasn't. Mass Effect 3 came out in like 2011, and the Wii U came out like 2-3 years after.
No, but by the time the game hit the Wii U...
Well, it didn't come out in 2021, did it?
No.
Exactly, so when did that come out?
What, Mass Effect 3?
No, the trilogy on Wii U, that's what we're talking about.
I don't remember, I didn't get it. I just remember it hit the Wii U and it was like years after it had been on everything else.
Well, Mass Effect 3 came out in 2011, I'm fairly certain.
Okay.
Or 2010 or something like that. But I just don't, and also I don't really think of the Wii U as a console that had other like non-Nintendo properties on it. Like, people weren't thinking about all the non-first party games on the Wii U. The Wii U very much felt like it was just Nintendo games a lot of the time.
I didn't know a single person who had a Wii U or had any interest in a Wii U.
Neither.
I know you now. I don't know. I didn't know you when that came out.
No, I had a Wii U. I liked the games that were on it, but you are right in that you got a Wii U, you got Nintendo-only games pretty much. There were very, very few games that crossed over with anything else.
Yeah. Which, good on Nintendo for keeping it in-house, but like, make a good console.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't say it was a bad console.
It's a halfway console again.
Yeah. Which the Switch 2 is, again. It's just a Switch Pro.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's cool. I think if you get it expecting that, it's great. I think the Switch is always great for getting just those really good Nintendo first-party properties. I think Donkey Kong, like I said this before, looks really good. I think that will be really good. Mario Kart is obviously good. I mean, have you played it multiplayer yet?
Not yet, no. Because I'm waiting for... Mario Kart's one of those games where I don't want to play it online. I want to play with people next to me that like you can shit talk and that. You don't... Nintendo's trying to do their thing with game chat, and it's just like, I don't want to use that. Yeah, it's just not working. Honestly, they should just add Discord to it. Yeah.
That's just going to fix so many things. I still haven't used Discord on PlayStation or Xbox yet.
I use it quite a bit.
I've never touched it. I haven't been playing online that much since that's come out.
It was shocking when it launched on PlayStation because it was like, you've got to join on Discord, then transfer it to your console. So you had to either do it through your phone app and then you connect it and then it goes transfer and it pops up
straight through Discord itself. Yeah.
It took like 6 months, but now you can go up and see your Discord chats in the party menu and join them. There's a new thing now that's a bit weird with, like, if you're in a private channel, it doesn't pop that up, but you can still join it on your phone and then switch it and then it's there. Other than that, it works fairly well. They're trying to bring like screen share and stuff to it as well. So you can share your screen from either PC or the other console, so you can actually watch what other people are doing.
When it launches.
It's going to be laggy as all hell.
The internet is nowhere near good enough to support that yet. One thing I did want to bring up is, so I got a new computer I had it last episode, but we're talking about the Switch and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I got a new computer, beefed out machine, Ultra 9. I know people are going to complain about that, but it's got an Ultra 9, it's got a 5090 in it, 64GB RAM, 4TB SSD. It's got the works. Been playing some games on that. I made a comment a few episodes ago, Ben and I both agreed on this, that Cyberpunk on consoles controls like crap.
Correct.
And I played Cyberpunk like 3 or 4 times and I liked it, but I just couldn't really get into it. I got it on PC and I bought it at full cop as well. The full game and Phantom Liberty, because I really wanted to stress test this computer. Got a new 4K monitor that should be arriving today if fucking Team Global Express want to pull their finger out. Ultra wide 4K, keen. So I got Cyberpunk to stress test my computer. And I wanted to play it again and see how it played. That game is a completely different game on PC. Yeah. It is actually way more fun because it just controls way better. I have never had a game where I've had such a different experience playing it from console to PC.
Yeah.
And there's so many similar games. Like, a similar game essentially to Cyberpunk is going to be like Fallout.
Yep.
You could say different but similar enough where they're first person RPGs, FPS type of deal. Cyberpunk's a lot more GTA-esque opposed to obviously Fallout. But if I go from PC to console and Fallout is perfectly playable on console. Completely. That's what I played all of them on and then played them on PC afterwards. Same with Skyrim and all the Elder Scrolls games.
Do you think that is because a much higher effort was made to make it console friendly as opposed to just developing it for PC? Because from what I understand of Cyberpunk, it was developed PC first and then
I don't believe so. With
after.
Cyberpunk, I think it was obviously CD Projekt Red were originally a PC developer.
Yes.
Their games were ported to console. I think they do it in-house. I could be wrong. But they saw the success of Witcher 3. That game sold way more on console than it did on PC.
Fair.
And
yeah.
that game was hyped up for ages, Cyberpunk I mean, to be on console. And people, you would have known, because you were primarily a console gamer, the amount of people that were keen for Cyberpunk to come out.
Yeah, I got it. I pre-ordered it, and then I think as soon as it released, I downloaded it at midnight. And I downloaded it beforehand and played it at midnight for like 2 hours. I probably played about 6 minutes of game in that entire 2 hour period because you load up, finally get in, crash, get in, crash.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare at
launch. But I've never had a game like Cyberpunk where the PC version is so superior. And it is, honestly, the main reason it's not the content, it is just the controls. That game has got the worst optimization for a controller I've ever had. And on PC, it is so fun. It's so good. I actually am doing what I want to do. The sensitivity is not bonkers through the roof crazy.
I mean, I've always had the thought that if I'm playing a first-person shooter, I want to play it on PC. Because I hate first-person controls on a controller. Some games do it okay, and it's very bearable. Others are just woeful.
I feel like that's nowhere near as much of a sentiment anymore. It was maybe 20 years ago.
Depends on the FPS.
It really does. Most FPSs are made for console now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're made for. It's just
absolutely. I 100% would say FPSs are more geared toward console now.
I think they're more console friendly and controller friendly. I don't think they're made for.
COD 100% is for console.
Yeah.
No parents going out and buying their son a $2,000 gaming PC when they can buy a $600 PlayStation, $100 Call of Duty.
Yeah, like majority of games are developed for console now. 100%. It's a much bigger market.
It's a bigger market, yeah.
So why would you not develop for the bigger market?
Because people on PC still play Call of Duty with a controller plugged in.
Yeah, that's actually not that uncommon.
Battlefield, I think you could probably get away with using mouse and keyboard.
Was, I think, the last mainline FPS where it was definitely more PC focused because it started there. But I think from Battlefield 3 onwards, it was very much like this is a console game now.
I mean, I've got one point though that kind of not shoehorns it, but the amount of times I have people come in asking to buy a mouse and keyboard, and when I ask them what are you playing on, they're like, "Oh, I'm playing on console."
That still is our point.
Yeah,
that's just a different control scheme. That's not on a different console.
That is my point though, is that the first-person shooters are not designed for a controller. Designed to run on a console with smaller hardware and less powerful hardware. Designed to work with a controller. They make it controller friendly, but most people would want to use a mouse and keyboard.
I completely disagree because the reason, and they're probably going to be, I can almost imagine what this demographic is. They want it so they can have the edge over the people on the controller. Of course, a mouse and keyboard is going to be way more accurate. Of course, we're not disagreeing with that at all. Yeah. But these games are designed for controllers now, so they feel really good in the hands. Like if you play a modern COD, you feel like you can go around and you're not limited by the controller anymore.
Not at all.
You're going to have a better experience with keyboard mouse, but it is not like I'm not hindered and I don't have a problem playing on controller at all.
I don't like playing on a controller.
That's you. That's you, though. You also don't like playing FPS games.
Exactly.
I play plenty of FPS
shooters. You play first-person games. You don't play first-person shooters.
Pretty sure Halo's a first-person shooter.
Halo also came out 25 years ago.
When was the last Halo you played?
Last Halo I played?
Not when you played it last. What was the last Halo?
Would have been ODST.
ODST? Okay, a game that came out in 2009.
And to back Tom's point up, with Rainbow specifically has a massive thing with cheaters and using mouse and keyboard on console.
Yeah.
They have a whole system designed. It's garbage and doesn't work, but it's called Mousetrap. So if they detect another input in there, your game will freeze, you'll lag, the controller will spin consistently, like the mouse wheel and stuff will spin, so it'll just throw your game completely out, and then it'll just get kicked. That's why people come in and try and get Cronus and that sort of thing, and they put that in to trick it into thinking they're using controller, because it's a lot easier to aim on a game like that where you have to be precise to use a mouse to control your sensitivity.
Yeah, I mean, like there's certain games where mouse and keyboard are always going to be better. Like, for example, a big thing years ago, it's still a thing now, but Fortnite, especially with building was miles better on PC. Miles better. They've changed it where there's different things now, but honestly, most people who play Fortnite don't even do the build modes anymore.
No.
Because it's nowhere near as fun.
I sucked at building until I figured out you could remap it to be, you press the build menu, then L2, R2, R1 with the different pieces, and you could just spin the stick and spam those buttons, and the whole thing was built.
I do want to quickly go on a tangent. This is not going to be you because you hate Fortnite.
Yep.
But I think Fortnite is infinitely superior without building.
Correct.
No build Fortnite is actually super fun and is something that I can repeatedly jump back into.
Yep.
I used to play early day Fortnite. You probably did as well. When there was not much building, people were building little things, and that was
one
really
by
good.
one, 2-story house. And
exactly.
That was it.
But as soon as people were doing the bloody Taj Mahal in front of me in 2 seconds, and it's like your whole team spamming with rockets and they're building in the time repairing it straight away, was just not fun.
No.
And you see some of these like pro clips, mostly back in the day, of people building and then like building around them and doing shotguns and editing the wall. It just wasn't fun to me. I mean, certain people might have loved that, but build Fortnite feels like one of the best squad games I've played in a long, long time.
It was good too. When they did that OG mode back not too long ago, I think it was like December last year.
Yeah.
Everyone got back on it. And they're like, this is awesome. They had it for a month and they're like, we're going to make it permanent now. And it was just fantastic.
Yeah, well, they need to do that. Because I remember when they first put no building, it was only for like a month or two and it fucking went crazy. Yeah. Crazy.
And like they had the OG, so it was the original map, all the old things, and then they just started going season by season. It still worked fine. I played it for like 4 or 5 months and then I've just stopped playing it now because I don't want to spend more money.
Yeah, fair. Actually, I do want to sort of jump back into Fortnite because that's one of the only games where I sort of get tempted on the skins, and it's only because
I spent so much money in the span of like 6 weeks.
It's only because there are all the licensed skins. Yep. Like they're adding Hank Hill from King of the Hill.
I did say
and
that.
I was like, that would be funny. I got a solid snake skin. I can literally some of my favorite things ever. I can play as Solid Snake or James Hetfield from Metallica.
Yeah,
it's like what?
Yeah, no, I remember they did a Ninja Turtles bundle when we were in there, so all 4 of us got a different turtle and we just run around with like skateboards on our backs and like the nunchucks and stuff. That was so much fun.
It's really fun. We're gonna have to try and get you into it. I know you've got your Vendetta and everything, but that game is
you were missing out on
it is
so much
infinitely fun.
Yeah.
And it's free.
I know it's free.
And there's
that's
like
not my complaint about it, but anyway.
And your complaint about it was sort of
moved 10 years ago
because that game was never going to succeed and they turned it into something else.
I know, but my point with it, my annoyance with it is that
I paid this money and I want my money's value back.
No, it was more that I paid for this one thing and then you took all the money I paid for that thing and put it towards a different thing, which is not what I paid for.
I don't necessarily think that's the case because do you guys remember when Fortnite first added Battle Royale?
Yes, I do.
They did that because the game was failing. No one was playing it. No one bought it. It was abysmal. It was a massive failure. I said that weird.
You did. I was just going to brush past it when you pointed it out.
Hey, if we're going to make fun of him for saying something wrong, I got to take the blame as well.
2 different things.
Yeah.
I still remember the week that they released Battle Royale.
In Fortnite,
player count on Save the World overnight just disappeared.
Because they were bored.
It's a new mode.
They were bored and they wanted to try the new stuff. And then they're like, this is fantastic. We don't want to play that old stinky game anymore.
I'm really happy that they did it because Save the World, I've played Save the World. It's fun, but I wouldn't have sunk tons of time into it.
I liked Save the World. I was having fun playing it with people. And then all those people I was playing with immediately went straight over to Battle Royale. And I was like, cool. I tried a couple of matches, didn't have any fun with it. It's not my style of game. Can we go back and play the thing that like we paid for and that I was enjoying? No, we only want to play this now. Okay, cool. I did maybe another week or so in Save the World solo, and I was just like, no, I'm done with this. I'm not having fun with this game anymore.
Is that the game's fault, or that your friends didn't want to play with you?
Yeah, that's it.
No, it was
Sounds like a
more that
different
they
thing.
just wanted to play Save the World. I'm not blaming them for wanting to play the thing that they were having fun with, but
Also,
it was more that
I've vaguely remember, didn't we look up and we saw that Save the World was still getting updates for like years after
Yeah,
you stopped
2021
playing?
One it
was,
ended or
but
something?
it didn't get those updates until later on, well after I'd stopped playing.
So once the game got more popular with the Battle Royale and they put more money behind it.
It still didn't have as much going into Save the World to draw me back in.
But
so
the thing is, no one was playing that. Why would they support it? Like, you got what you paid for originally. Your friends stopped playing, so you stopped playing it. They haven't done anything wrong. The game was failing.
Again, I'm not blaming
Yeah.
my friends.
Yeah.
Well,
Again,
you
they
can't
were-
blame Epic either.
I certainly can.
Why? They still supported Save the World, and they made something else and grew the game immensely.
They did grow the game immensely. They didn't. When I was playing, I wanted the thing that I paid for. If they'd supported both at the same time, even if development on Save the World had slowed down, if it was still getting regular updates, cool, that would have been fine. But instead, everything,
Well-
the entire company shifted over to Battle Royale, and Save the World
To
was
be-
just forgotten
to be fair,
for
they-
like close to a year.
To be fair, it was very slow updates, but they kept updating it. It was still there. So
I know it was
like,
still there.
I understand if there was like they promised like XYZ thing, like you bought a season pass and they promised this thing and they never delivered upon it, that you'd be angry. I'd be fine with that, but they still supported it and it's still there. You can still play it.
Yeah, I'm still have no interest in going back to it.
So I don't think your anger with them is justified. They've done everything that you wanted them to do.
No, they didn't.
What did they do? They still updated the game.
Yes,
still
they
playable.
updated it far later on. Same thing with all those people who supported No Man's Sky when it first came out, and then it was not what was promised. They dropped it. Oh, but it's really good now. Blah blah. They don't have any reason to go back to it. It
I did.
wasn't.
Same reason I went back and played Cyberpunk. They fixed what was wrong with it,
yeah,
and I went back.
yeah, no,
There's two examples. Yeah, exact same thing.
And I love both those games. I also did not play them when they first came out. I don't think. I still feel entirely justified with the game was not what I was promised when I was playing it. I decided to stop playing it. Just because it is now fixed and is what was promised like back when it first came out, cool. I don't want to go back and play it. I'm playing other stuff now. I don't want to play a game that's now 10 years old and it is
That's
not.
all you play.
Yes. But I more mean I'm not going to pick up another cool, this is a free grindathon game that you do all this stuff.
That's
and
not the type of content in the game is not the issue. If you pay for a game, it's garbage, and then 10 years later they go, hey, my bad, we fixed it. Here's all this new cool updates for free, and you still own the game, you can just put it in and take advantage of all the stuff you didn't have 10 years ago.
I'm
not picking it up.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around because they did what you wanted, but you're still angry with them. They updated the game and they've added an extra content, but you're still not happy.
I don't want to go back and play the game.
That's fair. Like if you don't want to play the game, that's fair. But they didn't not deliver on what you wanted.
The only
That's what
thing that changed was that your friends didn't want to play Save the World anymore.
That's a separate thing.
Well, not really, because you said you played solo for a week and you go, this isn't fun anymore, and then you stopped playing it.
Which I'm with you. Save the World solo was nowhere near as good as with people.
No. But you just find other people to do it. Or you,
Yeah, I tried to find other people. That was why I was having to play it solo. I couldn't find anyone. That game was dead. The second that they switched all
Could we get you to play Fortnite if we played Save the World with you?
No, again, I don't want to go back and play that game.
It sounds like it's murdered your bloody partner or something, like how much disdain you have for this game.
A little bit, yeah.
But like I don't understand.
I will fully admit a big part of it is me just being stubborn and going,
Really?
I didn't.
Really?
Yes. I don't want to go back and play it.
That's fine. We're doing it. So.
You know, I think you would really like the Lego mode in it.
We've talked about that
I
before.
think you really would.
Not even like if you take Fortnite out of that and it's just Lego, it's just one of the best Lego games I've ever made. You go, I want to build that, and you just get the pieces and you build it, and then you
And
go
it's
to
like it's
Minecraft.
So yeah, it's
I
it's
could
way
just
more
go
like
and play
dungeon
Minecraft.
crawlery.
Yeah, but you're gonna play Sonic Minecraft, and it's not the same thing.
No,
You can dress up as Sonic in
Yeah.
this, can't you?
Yeah, more than
Probably.
likely.
Actually, I don't remember if Sonic's been in Fortnite.
But every character
it
you
hasn't been in the normal game. It might
Okay.
be in the Lego thing.
Nah,
I don't
no,
know.
because all the
Yeah,
skins they release in the
they're in
store
both.
gets a Lego character mode. So if you buy
Okay.
a skin, there's probably Snake in there as
yeah,
well.
there
so
is. Yeah,
it just gives you like, here you go, here's your character,
he's
and
the
you get all
it's
the.
the mini.
I could be
version.
wrong. Sonic might be in it, but
I don't
yeah,
think so actually.
considering how much my feed gets, like as soon as anything Sonic's announced, it straight into my feed. Yeah,
But no, I
Almost sound like you said Sonic Feet then. So
Sonic feet. He did run on them, but no,
Dinky.
I'm still very surprised that you just won't give it a go. We'll drop it, but I honestly think, I know battle royales aren't your go. The game has evolved so much. I reckon you should give it a shot at some point, because I feel like it'll be one of those games where you might not be like, oh, I'm in love with it, but that was pretty fun. I'll play that every now and then.
I
type
get
of deal.
asked to play different battle royales all the time, and the
We
second
had this discussion last
fair.
week.
That's fair, because battle royales are very oversaturated genre.
Yes.
But this was the second one basically,
yeah, I know
because
Was it
it was the
PUBG
second
and
most
then
popular
second
one.
big
yeah.
one, yes.
Yeah, that came out. There was definitely others before it. They just didn't get
Minecraft
popular.
Hunger Games.
I was more thinking the culling, but yeah.
Yeah, but
God, you're so old.
Yes, I am.
do you remember when Fortnite first added battle royale and player unknown or whatever the developer tried to sue
yeah.
them?
No.
Don't you remember that? They tried to sue them, said you're stealing our idea.
Yeah, stealing an idea that had already been around in like plenty of other games up to that point.
Yes,
Yeah, another media.
exactly. So
Well, not just in other media. They were claiming that like we are the ones that invented this game mode. It was like the culling, for example, had already been out for I think a couple of years at least.
I will say, I think Fortnite has definitely perfected that type of game, which is a battle royale, because it is arcadey.
They
And it
made
is
it
ever-changing
very
as well.
accessible.
Yeah. And PUBG, I used to play PUBG, and it'll be like 30, 40-minute games, and
And it's
you
always
might not
been
see
very
anyone.
jank as well.
yeah, exactly. So I really do think that's why it's blown up as much as it has. It definitely has its ups and downs. Like, I think there's a lot of times where the play count does really go down, and then they add something to it
And they bring
and
the
brings
player
it
base
back.
back. Yeah.
They've been pretty good with that. I do really want to play like the CSGO mode they've got in it.
Yeah, I had tried it.
I've been trying to do it, but on console it's so hard to get games on that game sometimes.
Yeah.
And Epic Games Launcher takes forever to download.
It is.
on
Epic
PC.
Games Launcher does suck.
That's the reason I stopped downloading it like 3 months ago, because I was like, oh, I'll play Fortnite, get on my PC, and it was downloading so unbelievably slow, and our internet is ridiculous, and it's not worth the trouble.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just
I
download it
don't
on PlayStation again.
understand why so many companies feel the need to, we have our own launcher. Okay, dumb idea, but whatever. Oh, we're going to turn it into a storefront as well. Why?
It's because they
Why
saw
try and directly
they saw
compete
Steam do it.
But that's my point. Why try and directly compete with a thing if you're not going to do it anywhere near as well?
Yeah, no, I get
I think
you.
Epic's the exception there, because I mean, you get all the free games and stuff.
You
and
get all the
that's
free
cool.
games. Epic loses money hand over fist from that storefront though. Because all the free
Yeah.
games they throw out there, they still don't have a way for you to buy multiple things in a single purchase.
Yeah, but also they sell skins for a 12-hour period, and they've made the money they've
Yeah,
lost.
true. The skins are
Yeah.
the money they make from skins is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh well, but going back to the PC stuff, what I was going to say is, especially when we're talking about the FPSs, is there, when you think of certain games, you feel like, oh, this is a PC game, this is a console game, when it's a multi-platform game? Like, for example, like one of my favorite games all time, Half-Life, that was on consoles. That's
Yeah.
a PC game.
I would say
That's a PC game.
I mean, it only just came out last year. All the Civilization games.
PC.
I would say they're like anything to do with like top-down strategy-esque games. They're all PC in my mind.
I played.
I can see that.
I had played Surviving Mars on PlayStation, handled fine. Played on PC, infinitely better. The camera control is better on console because you can just move the stick and it rotates
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
But other than that, that game works wonders on PC.
See, I mean, I'm not even talking about certain genres. I'm just saying individual games.
Individual games.
Where I like
I mean,
Splitgate.
Splitgate. That is 100% a PC game.
Yeah.
It's on console. That's a PC game.
I mean, I'm
Sucked on PS5, like the second one.
oh, when you try to play it,
it
yeah.
was so
We
bad.
actually didn't talk about Splitgate.
No.
I don't know if I really want to talk about the drama with
yeah,
the guy
before
going
we-
on stage.
Before
but
we
yeah.
jump again, I do have one game. I'm going to cop another ageism thing from you.
Shock.
I'm still astounded that StarCraft, the original StarCraft, that's definitely a PC game in my mind, but it was on Nintendo 64 and PlayStation.
Yeah, I wouldn't even consider that anywhere being a console game.
No.
No, like
Not at all.
I'm talking about games that are popular on both type of deal.
Yeah.
Half-Life wasn't even really popular on both, but I was just using that as an example. Like your CODs, that's obviously on PC, started on PC.
Yeah.
I think only the first one was PC only for a while, but
I
definitely
mean, the
console.
first Witcher is still only PC only, but that's because the engine was built off the whatever. It's the same one that runs Neverwinter Nights, the Aurora engine, I think.
or whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very set for PC. There's
Yeah.
no way to get that running on a console.
All right, so Ben and I, we wanted to talk about was Splitgate 2. So there was all this fiasco with the guy going on stage at the Xbox showcase and looking like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And like he had a "War and Make Games Great Again" hat. And I was like, whatever. And
I
then
saw people like even ragging on him for the song they picked that he walked out to, and I was like,
there's Imagine Dragons, which I sort of support that. Why the fuck are you playing Imagine Dragons?
Dragon D's nuts.
Yeah, across your face. But that game, I'm having a fuck ton of fun with it.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
played it in
great.
like probably a week, to be fair, but because I've been
I
busy.
haven't played it in about a week either.
Yeah, but I've been waiting for this new monitor before I really crack into
Oh,
some
that'd
stuff.
be hectic.
Yes.
Oh.
I have been really enjoying this game. You should download it 100%.
It's just Halo
I
3.
may try it.
It
yeah.
is. It's just it is OG Halo.
Okay.
So
yeah.
hard and with a few modern spins on it. And it's only little things, and it's enough to really add a lot to the game. Like, for example, there's like they've got their equivalent of like an energy sword, which is the baseball bat, and they've got all like a DMR
BFB.
weapon, and they've added classes into the game where certain people have certain abilities, sort of think of like all the armor abilities and reach.
Yep.
Not overpowered either. They're very well balanced.
They
I
are
was about to say, is
pretty
it,
well
yeah, Is there
balanced.
still one meta thing that like everyone goes for that one, or
Not really. Like I really
Depends how
like
you
it because it's
play.
situational. Because I was very much sticking to their equivalent of the DMR because I was very used to that from Halo Reach. I was always using the DMR. Certain maps, the assault rifle's way better.
Yeah.
Or longer, wider maps, medium to long range, DMR all the way. Closer maps, 100% assault rifle.
Okay.
And it was really nice that I had that differentiation where I didn't have to just. Usually, it didn't matter. I'll just get the same weapon. Like for example, in COD.
Yeah.
I'm not changing my loadout for whatever map we're on.
No.
Very rarely that ever happens, unless it was, I don't know, like Battlefield, different story, because it'd be like, oh, Operation Lockout, and we're right here in front of enemies, and of course I'm gonna have a shotgun or a SMG or something, and then if I'm sniping, I'm a sniper. But this game, for an arena little shooter thing, really good for that. The other thing they added, which we were talking about before, was they added Battle Royale.
Yeah. I haven't played it yet.
Haven't played it yet. Everything I've seen of it looks really cool. They've got some really cool game modes in the base game, and that
There's
sort
like
of
8
game.
or 9 different modes that you can play
Yeah.
as well, which is pretty interesting.
And some of those modes were giving me hints that this could be a good battle royale. They have a mode in it. Fuck, what's it called? The one where it moves around the map. It's like a King of the Hill.
I don't know. I thought I was just calling it King of the Hill. It's got
Yeah.
their own little name.
It's got
for
like
it.
it's like a King of the Hill one where you got to go around and defend points around this map, and they all rotate around. There's like 3 or 4 teams. Really fun.
okay.
Really, really fun game, and I'm really enjoying it. But I haven't played a super ton, but
Like, as soon as I hear that, like, my enthusiasm for it dipped a bit. As soon as you mentioned that it's getting a battle royale, I was like, oh, okay.
It's not traditional
But-
though, because it's like you all spawn. There's like your teams or whatever. You spawn in different sections, and then the map will start to kind of move around. And then if you die, you just come back like 10 seconds later, as long as someone else on your team's alive.
yeah,
and then it
it's
just
basically you got to squad wipe to actually get them out, which I think is a cool idea.
It's just a prolonged team deathmatch, pretty much, and it just keeps going, and the map changes, and you can portal between everything. But I don't know. I might have to download it. I don't know if it's separate or if it's just in the base game.
I think it's in the base game.
Yeah.
I'll probably have another go once I get this monitor sorted.
I will admit, most PvP games, I'm not like. It doesn't excite me at all.
I've never seen you as a PvP guy.
I'm all for. I love co-op games where it's PvE, but PvP, I'm just like. There's some games that are PvP I really like. Vast majority of them, I'm just like.
Yeah, I've never seen you as like a multiplayer PvP type of person.
No.
Like, did you ever have like a going back to it? I know you're not a Battle Royale fan, but did you ever have a PUBG phase?
No, I skipped PUBG entirely.
PUBG, like, did you have one?
I did on mobile, and then I played it for like
so you didn't,
2 or
man.
3 weeks, like when I set the PC up again properly.
When like early PUBG, when that first came out, like I got it before it was a massive game. I remember seeing on the front page of Steam and getting it, and then it blew up like a couple of weeks later. It was so fun with having a proper squad, because it'll be like you'd play like 4 or 5 games a night, and it'll be like a few hours from that. And it was so fun, like the actual like not military sim level realism, but there was enough there that it was like it wasn't just arcadey. It was really fun.
I don't know if they were out at the same time. I have a feeling they might have been almost at the same time. When DayZ was originally out.
It was a mod for DayZ.
Okay.
I'm pretty. Oh no, it was a mod for Armor.
Yeah, which DayZ
was a mod
as
of.
well.
Yeah.
No, DayZ I sunk huge amounts of time into, and like I played a mod of the mod was DayZ Origins, which had like base building and everything in it as well. I loved that, but that was also like we were playing on a rented server. Like we weren't doing much PvP stuff. It was all PvE.
Is DayZ the biggest flop of a standalone game that you've ever seen?
No.
Like
it
from
was
a mod?
Big flop.
Yeah, I remember because that was DayZ was massive for ages. I tell you how I found out about it was the Rooster Teeth podcast like 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
They jumped on it really, really early, like on DayZ, and they got the guy who did the mod to come on. And like they rarely had guests like that. He came on.
It's kind of cool. Okay.
Talked about it. I think he was a guy from New Zealand, or he might have been Australian. I don't remember. But and then after that, I think it went not even due to that podcast, but I remember it exploded even more, and that's when like the general YouTuber crowd sort of found it, and it went really big. And then they started developing that own game, and
released. And
even now, that game came out like 8 years ago or something, and I think it still gets updated DayZ.
It's I've got it installed at the moment.
People are still saying that it's a buggy, like shit fight of a game that still doesn't have anything really going for it.
It is an absolute. The first couple of minutes of that game, just trying to find a weapon or anything, and you're having zombies hit you through walls, and like you'll be closing doors trying to stop them from, and they just walk through the closed door. Yeah,
infuriating, especially a game like that, which is supposed to be
really,
realism to the max. Yeah, it does just your head in. But I wish that game was good. That would be something where if I could play it on like a server with people, would be fun.
Yeah,
I do dislike that very much gets into territory of people who know life those games, and you go into servers and just get destroyed straight away, and you just can't be asked to play it.
Because they have been playing on the same server for the last 2 years, or longer, probably 8 years, honestly.
Yeah, which I mean, like for those people, they're having immense fun, and that's good. But just for the general public who can't sink in a part-time job's worth of time into DayZ, all these online games. Same with Rust and Ark, and we've talked about this before, but I don't have the time to sink into that game to get to a point where I don't have to worry about other players.
Yeah.
Which is where I think they've changed it because Dune Awakening's out now. They're the same sort of thing. It's you have your PvP area, you have your PvE area as well. But I was around north of the map yesterday, and some of those bases those people have built, the games have been out for like 10 days.
Yep.
I don't have the materials to build like their garage for their house.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're no-lifing it. They did add a feature pretty much very soon after launch to private servers. So you can just host your own. I think it's like $20 a month or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Go on there, do your own thing. Don't have to worry about people destroying your base, which isn't a thing anyway, because you just got to have the storm comes through and does it once a week.
Yeah.
But
which they may be playing it similar to like when Ark, for example. I've sunk so much time into Ark. I loved Ark.
Yep.
When I first started playing it, I was working at a school. I was only doing morning and afternoon shifts. So I'd get up, go to work. Morning shifts were only 2 hours, and then I'd be heading back home again. I'd play Ark all through the day. About 2 o'clock or so, I'd stop. I'd head back to work, do the afternoon shift, come home, be home about 7, and dinner, and then I'd play more Ark. So there was a lot of time, a lot of downtime I could
I
spend.
won't lie.
doing
That fucking sucks. I would hate having a split shift like that.
Split
Oh,
shifts are really good or they're really bad.
That sounds terrible to me.
Look, the money I was getting was awful, but I
It
enjoyed
was
the work I was doing.
1989. It was fine.
Yeah, it was a different time.
No, I liked the work I was doing,
was
but
building the Ark.
being able to have all that downtime available to me as well. It was
Yeah,
really
especially
nice.
if it's like those off-peak times where
Yes.
you've got less
In the
of a
middle.
problem. Yeah.
See, my split shifts were work from 8 till 2, and then go to the cinema and sleep because it was a comfortable seat for 2 hours, and come back and work like from 4 till 10, and then go home and do the same thing the next day.
Yeah.
I just have that
Yuck.
little 2 little hour break there, and I'd be like,
split shifts, like
the point of that?
small gaps like that. That
but
does
like
suck,
$10 an
yeah.
hour is not worth it. It's like, oh, there's a movie showing in 15 minutes. Cool, I'm gonna book a ticket and then just go sleep on one of the recliners.
I mean, I had days
It's
like
great,
that where
but,
I couldn't be bothered because I was living way out in the sticks at the time, and it would take me about. I mean, on a good day, it was like maybe, well, not even half an hour. But there were days where I was just like, I don't have enough cash really to like afford to drive all the way home and then drive back in. I'm just gonna find a car park somewhere and just sleep in my car through the middle
Yeah,
of the day.
I've done stuff like that before,
Yeah.
especially rocking up to like video gigs early. Like I've got to go work in Sydney, and it'd be like a nighttime one. This used to happen a lot. I used to do a lot of work at Luna Park, like videoing for boxing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I would get there, and it'd be like, fuck, I actually didn't start for another 3 hours because the traffic's so unpredictable sometimes. Like, all right, I'm gonna have a kip in the car, and sometimes you'd feel terrible.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd feel great, but it's like, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, you don't have the cash to really like. Oh, I'll just
I'm gonna spend
Go
3
for it.
hours at Luna Park and hang out. Then you get too
Yeah.
tired and you got to do the work
Yeah, no,
anyway.
fuck that. I'm the type of person, I like to get stuff over and done with. I would prefer to start a work day at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and finish at 2
6 till 2 is my dream shift.
Yeah.
I love 6 till 2.
than the inverse of, I mean, we do it. We've done regularly do like an 1 till 9 o'clock, and
Yep.
then I've got another job after that where I'm there till 12 type of deal.
You run yourself ragged with the amount of stuff you do.
I
though.
do, but that's how you pay for all this stuff, sadly.
And then you don't get paid for it.
Half this money goes to a university anyway.
Yeah, I can't wait for that tax bill to come.
Oh god, yeah. But I was gonna say something epic, but I don't freaking remember, bro. I don't freaking remember.
I bought a racing sim.
You did actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should talk
I
about
did.
that.
One of the
Well,
guys.
did you bought a wheel at the moment?
It's close enough to start with.
You're
A
starting.
wheel and pedals,
Wheel and pedals.
It comes together.
which I would argue is the most important part of the racing sim.
Yeah, you don't need
Eh.
a seat, but yeah. So that was fun. Bought that. Played Gran Turismo a fair bit as well. Bought the Logitech G923. I think that's the one I bought.
Yeah.
If all things go well tomorrow and I move some stuff around, I will probably go buy a seat or a cockpit to sit in because it is very uncomfortable squeezed in there at my desk.
Yeah. I was telling Ben and I mean, you were seeing it on the other episodes when we were back in our chairs. Ben and I both have Secret Labs chairs, and
Fantastic chairs.
they're really good chairs. Honestly, I'll talk about this after actually. We both got Secret Labs chairs, and I said to him, it's like, if you want to save money, especially on your desk, you should they've got a recliner add-on you can add to it. And I was like, you should get that and put it on there and just use that as a bit of a wheel. He doesn't have a ton of room
No,
at his desk.
there's like maybe 30 centimeters from the edge of my desk and the where the back of the chair hits like the bed section. So it doesn't work out too well.
Yeah.
So if I can get a system in place where I can have that set up, easy to move, and I can just fold it down,
The
I'll
big
swing a
thing,
monitor and get it sorted.
I've said this to him, and I don't know if you're the same, because I don't know if you've had anything that's been like big peripherals like
Anything
that.
fun.
Yeah. But I had this with VR. I have this with guitar as well. I'm way more willing to use them or play guitar or play VR if it is easily accessible, where I
Yeah.
can just pick it up and go. So now that I've got this good PC and I've got a MetaQuest opposed to my old Vive where I had to set everything up and it was like a half an hour ordeal, where I can just plug it in and good to go, playing it way more. And same with guitar. And I was saying that to him, I was like, if you get this racing setup, it needs to be something that you can just quickly do. Because if it's too much of a fuck around, you're not going to touch it.
Slightly related, slightly tangential.
Yeah.
I think that was a big part of the Wii's success as well. Is that all this motion control stuff? You didn't need to set up anything extra.
Yeah,
you didn't need to take a huge
2
amount
batteries
of time.
maybe, and
You leave your sensor bar up.
Yeah.
Like most parents weren't going to be too annoyed by the little thin sensor bar above the TV.
They
So,
couldn't
Either
see
above
it
or you
anyway.
could set it below the TV
Yeah.
as well.
or put a couple
But the
candles
fact
up.
that the fact that any person could at any point be like, oh, how do you play this? And you're just like, just move your arm.
The hardest part for me to play it was getting that Wii Fit board to play the Avatar game. It was like stuck
Yeah.
under the lounge and you had to lift it and pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, I remember people having hissy fits about
Yeah,
those.
but
Finding the motion controls as well.
yeah, the motion plus bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you that like convenience is the thing that would like easily overcome any sort of it costs more, it doesn't do this, doesn't
Oh, 100%.
doesn't matter. Like being able to just pick up the thing and be instantly in it.
Well, I mean,
That's
I've even got
amazing.
this with food at the moment. I've been with the Lizard. We've been doing these U-Foods, like the
Yeah.
microwave meals. Because,
Sponsor us.
yeah, sponsor us. I just don't have time to go cook a meal for an hour and a half every day when I come home. Yesterday, I worked all day, came home, filmed 2 podcasts for people, and then edited till 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I
Laura,
played Balatro for 15 minutes and then went to bed.
At the moment, Laura is very kindly cooking, pre-prepping all of my meals. Yeah, I could.
Meal prepping?
That as well, yes. But no, like everything for me is just like it's already there. It's ready to go. It means that I'm not like that.
You sure?
But it means that I'm like the days I'm coming to work. It means I'm not. We get to lunchtime and like, cool. I'm gonna duck up to the food court and
Yeah, we know
you
you
spend so much money as well. That's the thing.
that's
Well,
gonna-
not just you, just in general, people do. Like,
Yes.
especially so. It's really nice. I'm happy to spend that extra, and it looks worse at the start, but in the long run, it ends up being cheaper because you're not going out to buy all that shit every day. Like when I bought, eventually, we've got all these discount codes at the moment because of new customers, but eventually with the point of this U-Foods one, it's going to be $200 for 20 meals, which is $10 a meal. And that's like, oh, fuck, that's a bit. But that is if it's just 2 of those a day, which will be under the calorie deficit if I want to lose some weight as well. That's going to be $20 a day. I could easily go to work and just buying a basic meal is like 15,
Buy a
16
monster
bucks.
and a bread roll and that's $20.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And that's just for one meal, and that'll be second, like another meal. So it's like $100 a week actually isn't that bad.
Yeah, I've always found like I like the idea of meal prep, of like prepping for an entire week.
Yeah.
Of that.
I used to meal
But
prep a lot.
I get very bored of it by like day 3. I'm
You
just
got to
like,
make
I've
multiple
got-
things to have to switch it up. Otherwise, it's
yes,
just.
I'm
had
lucky.
pasta bake 3 days last
I
week.
can
and
have
It's disgusting.
a lot of stuff like on end, as long like certain things I can just eat that over and over
I'm-
and over.
I'm the
I'll
same,
lose
but-
enjoyment, but I can easily do it.
but for stuff that is like financially
Cost effective.
manageable, it gets to a point where it's just like,
Oh, I can
I
have
know I'm
spag roll forever.
Yeah.
yeah. See, I'm the same with pasta bake. I could eat pasta bake for weeks on end. But
I've been changing up the types of pasta I've been using in it. So I had bow ties last week and I had spirals a week before.
Yeah, no, stuff like that will help.
And just different sauces because it's still the same meal. It's just a taste. I had a sweet chili one or something last week, and it was good. But then when you get to the like end of day 3, and I'm like, I'll have toast for dinner at this point. I just want something that's a little different.
Getting back into gaming.
which is what I was about to say. I was going to say, oh, you go. You've
Yeah,
probably got a
I
better
was-
topic than I do.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ben and I have talked about this before. I think one of the best gaming, not even peripherals, but gaming thing, doesn't even have to actually be gaming, that I've ever bought. Both Ben and I have got one of these, is our Secret Labs chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
We are not sponsored by Secret Labs. Our chairs, I think, are one of the best purchases we've ever made. Ben bought his years before I knew him. I bought mine years before
Yeah,
I
I
knew
bought mine
him.
like 2020, just started COVID, I think.
I bought mine in 2018 or 19. That thing is like brand new.
Yeah.
It is such good. It's 6 years old, and it looks like it is brand new, and it still feels great.
I keep meaning to get one, but then I cheap out like halfway through and I'm just like, oh, I'll just get this one. It should be just as good.
Yeah.
And it's like I've been through, in the time, like you guys have both had your chairs for what, 6 years now?
Yeah.
5, 6 years, yeah.
Yeah. In that time, I've only ever had one chair that's lasted that long, honestly. Every other chair has been like maybe 2-3 years tops.
Yeah.
The one I've got at the moment, like, again, Laura very kindly bought it for me for Christmas.
The RGB one?
No, that was the one I had previously, which, did not, it lasted about 2 years because I bought that when I started working with you.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
No, the one I've got at the moment, it should have been really good. It's like got massage things built into it and everything.
Oh.
The problem is they sit on top of all the padding.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So when you sit in it and without any of those things on, it's just like, oh, there's hard points just digging into every point of my body. Ouch.
Yeah, no, I think that Secret Labs chair that I bought is going to last, I think, minimum another decade. Minimum. It is so good quality. There's a little bit of fraying on one little bit of fabric on but it's like I cut it with scissors and it's completely fine. Like I haven't done that, but I could and it'd be completely fine.
Just use a lighter, it'll singe it. It's not going to come apart again then.
Like chairs are one thing. Do you think there's any other peripherals that like you would expect to be using them 10 years after you first purchased them? If you're using them like daily?
I mean, like
use?
if you're careful, cameras, but that's very unique to what I do. Most people, if they bought a camera, you would expect that if you spend that money, you weren't going to touch it
the
too
amount
often.
you spend on it,
Yeah. I also bought, because of my chair and how good it was, I bought a Secret Labs desk.
Yes.
Magnus desk. Magnus Pro. Hey, these desks and these chairs are very expensive, but at least the chair, worth its weight in gold. I've got
the build quality is amazing.
I paid like $600-700 for it back then.
$680 or something like that.
Something like that years ago, but it is 100% been worth it because it's never had a problem. I got one of the Secret Labs stand desks. I love that thing.
Yeah.
It is so good.
If you go back and watch our earlier episodes,
it was in the background.
The desk in the background that the monitors are sitting on.
The man who had to bring it inside, I don't know how that thing got up the stairs. That thing getting it inside was a workout.
So that's the only downside of that desk. It is extremely
so
heavy.
Yeah.
Extremely heavy.
But it's all metal.
It is.
Yeah. It's not aluminum.
I'm a small man. The Treby and the delivery driver, he's like, what the fuck is this? I was like, it's a desk. He goes, no, it's not. I was like, yes, it is. And we have dragging this thing inside, trying to get it off the truck. He's like, don't drop it. I'm like, it's like 30 kilos. This thing would be ridiculous trying to get that thing moving.
Yeah, so that's the only problem I have with that desk is that when it eventually will be moved somewhere,
it's going to be a task.
It's going to be hard.
The only thing I can think of that would like ostensibly last maybe close to 10 years is maybe a monitor, depending on the amount you spent on it.
This new one that I get, I'm hoping will be 10 years.
But a PC itself, like you should be possibly upgrading it more than that. But I mean, my previous PC I definitely had for close to 10 years.
I would hope a PC would last 10 years, but I don't think most of them do.
No, like the outer shell, the case, sure. Internals, your motherboard and CPU, you might get away with like running for 10 years. I mean, I was still running right before I started working with you and I bought that laptop. I was running a 980. It wasn't a TI, it was just a standard 980, but the CPU was a 3770, which I'd already had for like 8 years at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at that point now where I need to either look at a motherboard or a new... The CPU's not bad, but I definitely think another motherboard would be
I heard you talking about that yesterday.
No, electronics to get to a point where if you spend the big bucks at the beginning, it will last you ages. Like the same thing with phones. You buy a really good phone, it'll last you 10 years and it'll still be really good down the track. Whereas you buy a cheap phone, it's cheap from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's borderline unusable.
Yeah, like I'm hoping my computer should last that long.
Yeah.
I really hope. But I will say, the only computers that I have confidence in saying, yeah, this most likely will get up to 10 years, is a Mac.
Yeah.
It just is. I have had so much first-hand experience of people being like, yeah, I want to get a new MacBook. My old one finally has died or finally won't get updates. When did you buy it? 2009, 2008, 2012, 2011?
Yeah.
And it's like, you just don't get that with like a Windows laptop. You don't.
No, but it's because Windows has such a wide variance between their entry level
and
their premium level. MacBooks,
even
like
premium,
any Apple product, there is a very, very small margin between their entry level and their premium level. Maybe a big difference in price, but the actual performance output of them, not that much different.
I mean, like even your higher end, you could buy I'm actually confident in this. You can go out and buy some very high end laptops.
Yeah.
Both gaming and not gaming. And I can't guarantee they're going to make it past 5 years. That's how shitty Windows laptops generally can be.
I had an Acer Nitro 5. It lasted maybe 8 months before the battery was completely cooked.
Yep.
Like just dead. It started... It was maybe a year and a half before I was finding stuff that I could not play. And it had a 3060, laptop grade 3060.
3060, yeah.
But yeah, I was finding stuff like, hey, I can't even run this on medium, let alone... Yeah.
Yeah,
the
no.
laptops age ridiculously fast.
Yeah, desktops are going to have a much better shot, but...
It's easy to change stuff out if you need to. If you go, I want to go this and I want to run everything at Ultra now. Cool, you buy a new GPU and maybe a new CPU and you problem solved.
Yeah,
more RAM for work.
Laptops you can change out the storage, maybe the RAM. That's it.
Very rare now that you can do RAM, and it's
a
not
lot of
that
it's
common that you
soldered
can
now.
even put on. Yeah, not that common you can even put in more SSD. But no, okay. Keep a bit more entertained, why don't you?
It was a good yawn.
It was a good yawn. It was like, oh yes, I like to be here, yawn.
Yes.
But no, you just don't see that. Like that's why I reckon, and people have clowned on me this before. If Apple gets the support for gaming, like proper support, it's gonna take a while because they need to do a lot on their end. But they're trying to push for it.
They are.
Apple's actively trying to push for gaming. They did it a few weeks ago at WWDC, their developers conference. They were talking about gaming a lot in there. They didn't have a ton of cool games on it, but if they get either MacBooks or even iPads that have some really good games in it, because they got the power.
They definitely have the power. I think it's
if they can get it going, they could be unbeaten. It would be the best gaming devices you could get.
The development costs are still what stands in their way. Just how much of a like from what I've heard, I have not done it myself. The fuck around that is like getting licenses and development tools to work properly on Mac as compared to working on Windows. Yeah.
Because I reckon...
I just need a good pipeline to get it, release a game and go, all right, cool. Apple's going to be our main thing. We're going to push this on. We need to finish this game in engine.
I don't think they're ever going to push it. It's going to be a secondary cost.
Yeah. It'll be like, we've got the game. We need to fix it. We need to go from there and push it onto an Apple device.
Yeah. Because
they just need a good workflow and
most
sort it.
Small developers don't have the costs there to afford to develop for Mac.
But if Apple
no,
if Apple want that gaming on Mac, they'll happily help out on that cost to get it, or at least have a team that's going to work with pushing the game across.
Mac has such a small market share with computers in general, let alone gaming is non-existent really on it. If they crack the gaming market or even start to, I think that is a big motivator for people to want to buy an Apple device.
Yeah.
Because of just how much else it can do way better than a PC. And if you could get that in there, I reckon they could bump up the market share a lot.
Yeah.
If they really delved into it.
Because you could have a really good work computer for like video editing, whatever, and then also have a gaming machine.
Or just a good computer. Because I mean, like for example, if you buy a basic or even a really good gaming laptop, it just doesn't have battery life. They never do.
But I mean, on the point of like for video editing and that, like you yourself just this last couple of weeks editing on
the new computer,
the new computer versus editing on your
my
Mac Pro.
MacBook. Yeah.
Like you were saying that stuff that should go really, really well, just out of weird oddness, it'll work really well on one thing. But then like say there's two parts to the editing. You're doing like the actual editing and then the exporting.
Exporting, yes. Yeah, which is generally the case, yeah.
Yeah. One of them will do part one really, really well.
Yep.
But not do part two really well. And then the other does the reverse really well.
My MacBook, I still think is the better editing machine. It doesn't actually edit as fast because I've got a 5090 in that PC. The graphics card is worth more than the MacBook. I got an expensive MacBook from 2 years ago. It's an M2 Max chip. It's about $5,500 when I bought it, or $5,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not Apple's best chip, and it's not their most current best chip either. It was the best one I could get at the time in that computer. So I was always going to know that actually editing and scrubbing through footage and things like that was going to be better on the
A beefier.
on the PC, which it is. Like I can have my 4K footage. You're doing the podcast, and I'll have multiple 4K files up, and I can just scrub through without. If anyone knows Premiere Pro, I've got it on full resolution. I don't have it as a half or a quarter or 1/8 or whatever, and I'm scrubbing through and just snapping straight to it, playing it. It's completely fine, no buffering, anything like that. All good. When I go to export on that machine, it is horrendous. The last week's episode was 12 hours the export, and I had to baby it, and that was actually extended out to about 24 hours.
Yeah.
It was doing it off an SSD. I did it off an internal SSD as well. Either way, I wasn't fixing it. I tried it on the MacBook, and it said it was going to take an hour.
Yeah.
It's like, why? I know there's a bunch of different answers in there, but it's just, if I didn't have that MacBook, I would have been fuming. But now I edited a Plan B episode last night. Snapped through quickly fine. Exported, and it was like 18 minutes. I think there's a lot of factors to do with it. Editing's always been a pain, and also Adobe sort of sucks with a lot of things. But
I think that's also like a big sort of obstacle in terms of like price points and that for different devices is what are you going to use it for? Oh, I want a thing that's going to be able to do everything. Cool, you're spending big bucks for that then if you want something that's going to be able to do everything. Oh, I want it just for editing. Cool, come and look at these things, which may not be the best for gaming, may be way overkill for just, nan and pa, just being able to browse the email and whatnot, but it'll do editing fine. Oh, I want it for gaming. Awesome. Come over, look at this $3,000 to $4,000 machine that will run everything for the next 7 years and won't struggle at all. You're not going to be using it for editing though.
I really think if I could play all the games I wanted on my MacBook, I would have just bought a new MacBook instead of that PC. Yeah. There would be no reason. There is things that you can only get on a PC, like very specific work things. If it was just all my other work and gaming, I wouldn't need a PC at all.
No.
At all. And I would almost be tempted to say the same with you.
He likes tinkering though.
He does
tinker with a MacBook.
Which I will say, there's
a lot of the stuff I tinker with, you have to break down and then use a PC in order to
be
sure
fair,
there's a
code
PC
stuff.
part simulator game.
Yeah.
There's two.
I've
got a sequel.
I will say I feel like there's probably a lot of things that you like to tinker with, and there might be not as much of a reason to do it on a Mac, but I still think a lot of that stuff you would like to do it.
Can I get Windows 95 running on this MacBook Pro?
You would have been able to back in the day when it had
I got DOS running on a 3DS.
Such a nerd.
Didn't run well, but it ran.
I actually, and also this ties back all the way to the start. Another reason why I bought Cyberpunk is for when it comes out. It's coming to Mac.
Yes.
When it comes out, I will be able to download it on my MacBook and compare it. And I think that will be a hectic game.
Should have all of them running at one time. PS4, MacBook,
yeah,
and PC.
PS4, PS5,
Switch.
MacBook, yeah. I'll get
just side by side comparison.
We could do load up times. That'd be
we
funny.
We could, yeah.
But I wanted to have that as a game that I'll download on the MacBook and be like, yep, I'll see how this runs on there. I played Baldur's Gate on my MacBook.
Yeah, you're saying it runs really, really well.
It ran really well, and off battery.
Right.
I was playing for like 4 or 5 hours at like its top settings that it could do. That's the big thing that I'd like is like, imagine having a gaming laptop that you could play for 4 or 5 hours.
And
then just charges up like that as well. Because the MacBook's charged so quick, you can, when it's playing the game, it wouldn't charge it up that quick, but...
Well, no, because it's outputting that much.
Drain it down to like 10, 20% or something, plug it in for like half an hour, and then go play for another 4 hours.
Like on the cost for them again, have you ever had someone tell you how much they've spent on, like not just a gaming PC, but like any sort of electronic thing, whether it be a camera or whether it be like, hey, I'm looking at grabbing this phone and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they tell you how much they've spent on it, and you just go, you've spent way too much on that. Because a few minutes ago, I just threw out the number, like you spend $3,000 to $4,000 to get a computer to play everything, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We, all three of us know that you do not need to spend that much to get a decent computer.
No.
Like 1.5, if you're bargain savvy enough, you can definitely find something in that price range where it will run plenty.
It all comes to what you want to use it for. Like when I got mine, it wasn't for gaming. It also just happened to be really, really good for it, for actually playing games, but it's not what I purchased was for. I think I spent like 23, 25 on just the PC stuff before I did keyboard, mouse, and then I had to buy buy more RAM and that sort of thing. And I think with everything at a desk, it came to like just over 4, but it wasn't. I mean, I've spent nearly half that now on the new GPU, but that wasn't its sole purpose. It just happened to be best for both.
Yeah, that's what I originally got computers for the editing, and then it just worked out for gaming, so I wanted that as well. But no, I have had that. Especially, I've had people, and I still remember one. It was egregious. There was a lady that I was talking to once, and she wanted to buy a computer. I showed her some computers. Believe it or not, I work retail. I was showing her some computers, and she only wanted some basic work. It was a desktop, and she's like, I just wanted to do like Outlook and a couple little things and here and there, and she's like, I want something reliable though. It's like, okay, well, we could probably get you a machine for $2.5 grand if you want it to last longer. I could get you something way cheaper that would do everything you want. She's like, oh, that's really good. I'm like, oh, I mean, it's like just a normal price, I reckon. She's like, oh, well, here's my quote. She got a quote from Harvey Norman. Do you remember this? I don't remember this. It was $8,500.
Was that the one they basically threw a massive gaming rig at her, and all she wanted for was like basic
It was
stuff?
a crazy gaming machine that was actually super overpriced.
It was like a HP Omen.
This was like 2 years ago. This happened.
Yeah.
And it had like a really shit graphics card in it. It was like a 1070 or something in like 2023.
Yeah.
1070. It was like an old machine they just had. This guy would have made a ton of money, and it had like 2 terabyte hard drive in it. It had like an i7 like 8th or 7th gen or something like that in it. And it was like a $5 grand machine, but they put 4 different versions of Norton on it as well.
Oh, and they would have,
and they were $500 each.
And they would have added their
And
like
she was
aftermarket care and everything
Yeah,
else.
it was like
$100
I said,
a year.
sorry,
CD
you are
cleaner.
getting ripped off with this.
Yeah.
You could, like, if you wanted like some protection stuff, yeah, I got it for you. It's literally a tenth of what they're offering it to you and all this stuff. And it's like, you see a lot of that. People getting ripped off because they don't know what they're talking about.
Yes.
A lot of retail shops do that, especially your Harveys and things like that. But I mean, that's how they make their money.
Yeah. This is going back years and years. I almost got swindled into buying it was a laptop again. Almost got swindled into buying a laptop from Harvey Norman. Didn't have the money for it. Thankfully listened to my partner and ended up not getting it. But they were like, oh, if you can't afford it at the moment, we've got this payment plan, we've got this blah, blah, blah. Thank God I never went for it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if I hadn't had my partner there, I would have been hooked straight
Yeah,
away. But luckily she was there with...
You're gullible on that.
Yeah, I'm not great with money.
What?
Spend all your time collecting gold rings. What are you talking about?
Yeah. All right, with that, I think
exchange rates.
we've been going for about an hour. I reckon that's probably enough for that one.
You sure
Yep.
we don't want to match last week's episode?
What?
2 hours?
It wasn't 2 hours. It was close to it, though.
It was over,
No, it wasn't.
wasn't it?
An
I
hour
thought we went
51 or
over.
something.
Okay.
No.
We
We're
were
close
talking
to
for
it.
before that, before it
Yeah.
actually started.
But no, I mean, that was just a little one. Wetting the
Wet the whistle?
wet the whistle a bit. And yeah, well, with that, Brock, what do you have to say?
We will save it there.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Bye.